Welcome back to the Fullerton College Pre-Press. This is Professor Ben Hewitt, and this is the PIA Pre-Press Training Manual, Section 3.5, Pre-Flighting, and we are doing video 2 of hopefully only 2. Again, wish us all luck, because it's my voice and your behinds that have to sit in a chair for it. Let's get this done. So, one of the big problems you come across in getting files from customers is getting all the files that are necessary. We've talked before, we watched the video of the sad mouse lost in New York City, singing sadly to the stars and hoping to find his family again. And hopefully that octave bending song helps you think about those sad, lonely InDesign files without their family, without their images, without their links and their fonts. Those poor things are all alone in this big, scary world all by themselves. And they don't have much of a chance, do they? So remember that those files require supporting files. And if you ever see an InDesign file or a QuarkXPress file sent to you by itself without an accompanying folder full of the other things, that's an unaccompanied child. That's like finding a 3-year-old wandering a grocery store by him or herself. And you're like, where are your parents? What are you doing here by yourself? You're too young to be on your own. Anyways, missing graphics and missing fonts are the main ones that you'll be missing out of those things. And it's rather common that those are gone. We'll have to look perhaps in an extra video about what that looks like, because there's some interesting things that aren't quite what you'd expect when you look at those. And we'll also do some quick demoing here on how to do this. So because a lot of the common good programs like InDesign and Quark have a way of making sure that that problem doesn't happen. In QuarkXPress, it's called collect for output. I don't have Quark on my computer, so I won't be able to demo this. We'll just have to look at the slides. So this finds all the files that you linked and puts them together into a folder and a report that you can send with it when you send it off for production. In InDesign, it's called create package. We're going to take a second here and actually look at that in action. You guys ready? So we're back here in my little board game manual book that I've been kind of tooling around with, and I'll show you how to do this in InDesign. This is one of the most important things. And because airplane analogies abound in my class, remember, this isn't just about being a pilot when you're doing this stuff in pre-flighting and in pre-press. This is about being an air traffic controller. And this is about helping that person in the sitcom, because it always happens in sitcoms, who doesn't know what they're doing. When the pilot passes out and they have to land that plane in every sitcom ever, it's going to be your job to talk them down to the ground safely, graphically speaking. So it's not enough that you can do this. You need to be able to explain over the phone to somebody else how to do this, because this is how you're going to get them to give you what you need. So let's go ahead and do it. It's actually not that hard. In InDesign, it is File. Why can't I see it? It fell out of my thing. Package at the bottom, File Package. Or Command Shift Option P, or if you're on a PC, that'd be Control Alt Shift P. And packaging will pull up this little menu right here. You can choose things to do, and it can actually tell you some stuff. If you go through and look at the reports, tells you what images are used, if anything's embedded, if anything's missing, stuff is linked. Some of them have ICC profile, some don't. Tells you what colors and inks are going to be used in this, and it gives print settings and all sorts of stuff. You can kind of skip some of this and go to package. You have to save, of course. So now to package, it'll create a folder for you. And I'll let it do that. And you'll tell it to package. It'll copy things. It'll put all the stuff you need in there. Sometimes it can pull some extra stuff here, but we're not going to do all of that. Including a PDF for print is good on this as well. You can choose your PDF preset. If you have one built with special exceptions, like adding crops and bleeds, would be a great time to use that. And you say package. You will always get a warning that says, hey, buddy, I hope you paid for those fonts you're using. And I also agree with this. I hope you have. I hope that the artists who spent a good portion of their life devoted to making this get compensated for their effort, because we need to pay people who do their work. Anyways, so the warning comes up saying you better be using legit fonts, because it's going to be sending these fonts along with it. We say okay, and it does this super awesome thing. Don't you just love watching videos of moving progress bars? There we go. Let me pause for a second. We'll do our swap out. Okay, here we are in my folder for there where I dropped that output. Let's take a look at what it gave us, shall we? So what we have now is a folder that it made called aggressor style 1 folder, because I was calling the file aggressor style. Inside there's an InDesign file, an IDML file, a PDF of the document as it currently stands, with all of its pages in it. And this is actually print quality because I let it be that. And then here's the two really important folders that come with it as well. Document link, or fonts. So every font that I used, I guess you can actually kind of look at these, shows up as a font file that came through with it. I only used 3 really, and there they are. There's also a font list at the top. And the most important one, this is the money right here, guys, the links folder. Every picture that's linked inside the document is here as a file to be sent alongside the document. And then we haven't talked about this yet this semester, and I apologize because by not being on campus, it hasn't been necessary. One of the things you will realize as you work between different computers and different labs and different client capabilities and what versions of software people have is you don't always have compatibility between what's being sent to you and what you're being asked to do on your system. So we all know the INDD is the InDesign file. IDML is extremely important. IDML is InDesign markup language. And InDesign markup language is a simplified InDesign file, maybe without all the bells and whistles. But crucially, this type of file has backwards compatibility. And you can open up an IDML all the way back to CS3. So if you have someone using a slightly different version, if for some compatibility reason to other things they have not upgraded, or if they actually own a copy of Adobe CS6 or older and don't want to rent it for the rest of their lives, this is a way of being able to send files to and from older systems. IDML. And if you're doing it in InDesign, I believe you have to export to it. We'll double check on that to have it know. But anyways, when you package, it automatically sends you the InDesign native file from whatever version you use, and also the IDML markup language compatibility file. Guys, this is gold. This file folder is great. And you can send this whole folder to somebody, and more importantly, if somebody is sending you stuff, you can ask for it.